Hello, welcome aboard. We are up at cruise altitude right now, around 10,000 feet, and we are flying towards Vidandesign's Aalborg airport. We are in the RW design, Cessna Mustang, and I'm really not a huge fan of the aircraft, I have to admit. The way that it works is just clunky and annoying. I really like the default aircraft with the G1000, the Sirius aircraft, is a 50 or what it's called. I really enjoy it, and it was actually because of that add-on I actually got this aircraft, but was really annoyed. Yeah. If you haven't seen my previous video, you have to use the vertical speed tool in order to adjust the airspeed when you are using the flight level change. Just a side note there. And I guess it would be the last time I'm showing this aircraft in a video, because other than something really nice happens, I really have tried and tried and tried to feel comfortable about it, but to start off, the panel here is not using mouse wheel support, other than if I actually use the manipulators down here, but then sit and watch, and that is not that great. And even though you would think that they would add support if they open in, it would be nice at this position if there actually was this mouse wheel support, because then you have a zoomed in reference, and then you could actually adjust the things, but that's not working. If you're wondering about our little panel up here, it's actually something I did in order to give a bit of information of our given stuff, altitude and wind. Outside temperature is at 1 degree at the moment, rain is not present, bounce cloud base layer, the lower level is 4,180 feet, that's where the base layer is of the clouds. Runway condition at the moment below us for the airport is 0. Turbulence is 0 at the 3 levels that is supported in X-plane. There are 3 layers. I don't have information about which altitude they are, so you could say it's some kind of a cheat, but I still don't know at which altitude it is. I could of course go in and probably at some time I could do an extra menu under it or something like that, so we actually get at which altitude they are the changes, but still it would not give me it would still not give me the full information at which altitude would be the most optimal to fly at. So keep that in mind. We are at the moment flying around 380 knots in ground speeds. Yeah, there are a little difference in the calculation there, you can see. I'm not sure why, because for the default aircraft that I originally tested it with and the Carnado aircraft, it actually seems to be pretty accurate. But again, guess it's down to the calculation of the same data ref, because guess it's the same data ref that we actually are pulling the data out of. So yeah, there we have it. And we are getting closer to Aalborg. And we are flying to Aalborg because this is promotional work I'm doing for Vidandesign. And if you're not aware of it, the developer is currently working on Billund as well. That was released, was it a few years ago, for FSX and prepared. And now it luckily comes to explain as well. And it's not what I have been showing in the past. I know I have shown Billund and kept saying it was a personal project, and it is still my personal project. I really am looking forward to the day that we actually have Billund and I can officially demonstrate the airport. And it's also why I tend not to show Billund airport, because I really would like to record videos and such from Billund. But I'm not doing it because it's a private project, and it's now official that the right developer is working on a version, so it wouldn't be right to demonstrate something that is a private project, as it would give a wrong impression of John's work, and that would not be great. Because it's with the highest respect and such. That we are doing this. Also because if it was me, it would be best to demonstrate what is actual and not what could have been or something like that. I can just say that I'm happy that he has taken the decision to enter the market of X-Plane as well. Okay. One nifty thing here perhaps could be if we had some kind of a timer to the destination as well. There are data ref actually to do that, but again, waypoint distance, it could have been more nice if we actually had an indication from the main destination. But I'm not sure if I would actually be able to find any data ref out of the box that would tell me at which airport it is, because then I would have to make a reference library, I guess, or something like that, because I actually have found ways to get the information from what is the next waypoint or airport or whatever it is, but then you just get a number key or something like that, and then you have to figure out what it is and where it is going. Okay, so now we are descending here. I can try to adjust our descent path here. I would set it up here. And then we would slow down the aircraft as we are getting closer now. We are pretty close, in fact. 250 is the minimum, sorry, the maximum here, so we can't set that. as it don't take single digits. So I can make it 248 knots in the descent speed here. So that's what we have set it for. And now would be a nice time actually to go in and say select an approach perhaps, enter. We could do an ILS to runway 24, we can say enter, and we can do vectors, minimums are off, we can switch over and say activate it, and then I have to get out of the flight plan here, and then we actually have to say directly to this waypoint. Yes, thank you. So now it actually... Oh my god, I know what's wrong now. I know what is wrong. That was me that made a mistake here. Okay, fine. Then I have to take control here. So there we go. Turn right back on track here. It was me that made a huge mistake there. I apologize. That's not the aircraft. That was actually me that made a mistake that I would have to rectify now. And yes, it's not mouse click. It is only sorry, it's only mouse click, not a mouse wheel. So, here we go. It is because we had some other information set up for the aircraft, and that is what it actually is trying to follow at the moment. So that's how it is. Gonna move my project up there. Try to zoom in here as we're getting pretty close to Aalborg right now, so we would slow down as well and make ourselves ready for our landing here into Aalborg Airport. What it actually did before was it was actually taking our previous destination, because I just made a quick flight here. And then if you go in and select, it would take our last airport destination, and it was actually Hans Christian Andersen Airport, where we came from. It was something that I did not take into account, so that's not the default of the aircraft, even though no matter how much I really would like to enjoy the aircraft, I find it a bit tricky. Because I really like the main aircraft and such. I really do. Damn, I like this here and explain that we can just assign our own views. That is so nice. Okay, let's get down to 2,000 feet and here we go. 220. Now we can zoom further in here. And then I'm gonna switch off the autopilot here. Yacht Ember. So now we are actually flying manually. And that's pretty nice indeed in this aircraft as well. It's quite hazy down here. Not much to be seen. I have to admit here. Okay. And we are still slowing down here in order for our main approach. And we have a wind of around 250. 250. I'll try to set it up here as a reference. 250. Here we go. And we have to not get too low, because we need to be low here because we are getting in hot. We got the airport down there, in fact. Right there we got the airfield. Nearly flying over the main terminal, as you can see down there. So we're just flying here, and we are now making a turn toward the runway in a moment. We are flying in the opposite direction, as you might think, because originally we would say a left-hand turn, but no, we're doing a right-hand turn, also because then we get into the wind and the aircraft gets slowed down, as well as we try not to drift off like if we was turning into the wind. So we are doing a very steep turn here, just in order to get in ready here for our landing at Aalborg. And here we go. There we got the runway. And we are a bit high, as you can see. We also climbed a bit. Here we go. And in fact, even it is not done that often, we can take the left-hand runway just for the exercise here. So let's try to do that. Get a bit more flap in there, and let the nose drop even further, so we can get down here where we should be for our approach. Here we go. Just flying nicely in here. Can move up towards here. Have a bit of reference over the main airspeed, even though you can see it up there on our handy little panel. And that was actually also something of the reason I actually did this, was to make some nice views and still be able to fly the aircraft as I still need the main airspeed of the aircraft. And now we just try to get the aircraft slowed down, and we just got too far there, but nevertheless we have arrived. Here we go. And now because this runway is very narrow, we have to make a sharp turn. It's not that easy to do as such, but it is possible here when we get down towards the taxiway for the main terminal. I actually thought that it was further than we was, so it is in fact the next taxi away from what I can see into the main terminal here. The other was to the military area, so that was nice. And we are accelerating here down the runway. And you can see I really have to, well, you can't see that much, but I really give it a lot of thrust in order to actually taxi. It requires quite some thrust, because if it's just idling, it actually stops rolling. And now we are at Aalborg Airport. Got a nice rotating radar out there. And the big backlights here. And then we have arrived and can taxi in to the stands. I'm gonna switch off the beacon lights and the landing lights. Here we go. Yeah, that must be it for now. So now we just gonna roll in here. And as you would note that the Kia airspeed could be negative and such, and do note that it is basically because of the pitot tubes, just like they are in reality, and that probably might also be why the speed is not displayed at certain low airspeeds as such in reality. I guess it could be something like that. There we now have the control tower with nice details. And then we can taxi in here to the main terminal. And they are really a nice sign over by the parking that I really like. It's shown on his at the store. Can't remember if it is for the explained version, but it is for the FSX version. Something like no kisses more than 5 minutes or something like that. A little nice funny sign out in front of the main terminal for where you can drop off your baggage and some of your passengers. Can taxi in here to the more general aviation stuff, but before we do that, I thought we actually well, the beacon, of course, the anti-collision. There we go. Sorry for that. There we go. And let's taxi over here. And say it was it for today's flight with the Cessna Mustang, and probably the last one I'm streaming and even flying in the aircraft. guess we better stop here, else we are going to rip off the wing of that other aircraft that is standing here beside us, and call it the flight. And hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a short video. But it is really a nice rendition of Volvo that it has done. And as a last thing, I would set the time, and then we would be able to set the time. If I just can remember which button it is. There we go. Because then we can set it so you can see some of the lighting during the darker hours here. It really is nice, and how he actually got the objects really lighting up. From what I remember, in some add-ons they do the same, but sometimes it's quite limited what is lit up by those lights. Here it looks very nice because it actually lights up a lot. Sometimes areas seems a bit dark, where it is actually lit up by those lights. So it seems pretty okay. I really like, also if you see it from above, it looks very nice during the dark hours here. But that's it, and it looks nice as the shadowing and rendition is moving along here. Looks really very nice indeed, it does. So thank you for watching once again. Hope to see you again in one of my other videos, and there's nothing more than bye bye.